Are we starting with money therapy this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, let's start.
We took a week off, man. It's only right.
It's only right. I got a lot of shit to say.
You
y'all.
on
I
the
don't want
couch?
to. I feel like
You're on the couch. This is true.
this last. I want to say like these last like 3 months have been.
Wait, move to the side so you can put your feet up.
Give him the yellow pillow.
You got to talk to people.
Man, this last 3 months has been like one hell of a ride. Creatively, I know the world is shut down and things aren't happening, but everything niggas have been working towards this entire time, like all of those skills or all of those acquired tools, have become assets. Like I don't know, like almost seemingly overnight. So it's like shit that you weren't able to monetize or leverage before has become a commodity overnight, and you're like, holy shit! But you're prepared for it. What you can't account for, what you aren't prepared for, is the distance it'll create, or the seeming sort of isolation or purgatory you've put yourself in, and I for whatever reason yesterday that shit came full scene, because it's not just Poe. There's other people that really mean the world to me. Like, yo, my nigga, where you been at? And in my mind, I'm going, I've been in the studio. Like anybody who knows exactly where to find me. And it feels like certain people pull up or they don't, or they just tap in. And I wouldn't change any of that. However, tap in a little bit more just to make sure everybody's okay, because this shit has been hard, bro. It really has been hard in terms of like the toll it's taken on people's mental health, their sort of immortality, and all these, like, there's a lot of shit going on, and how I chosen to deal with it is just completely bury myself in the idea of work.
Yeah, in the new world, there isn't like the common meetup spots anymore.
Yeah.
So like it isn't like we bump into each other type thing anymore.
That's completely
what I
gone.
mean? So that shit's out the window.
Yeah.
So it is like a little bit more of like a tap in type deal.
It 100% is, and that's the point that you guys were making last night. That was like, I heard loud and clear, and I hope not just with us, but I hope other groups too, can be clearer or feel safer about speaking up for what they need, or not even what they need. Just like, yo, my man, like everybody else is checking in. What the fuck you doing? I feel like that's fair. If you care for the people, and if the relationships are worth making the effort. And again, I'm not in the position to go, niggas is tripping, because this is probably the third or fourth time I've had to have this conversation specifically. And the self-preservation part wants to go, well, I was doing this. It's like, nah, just do better. You can make the effort to do everything else. Make this effort if it's worth it. I don't know. It was a hell of a teaching moment, in terms of just like, because the old me immediately wants to go, well, this is my stance. Feel where I'm coming from. It's like, okay, no, nigga. I feel like there's other perspectives you can consider, and we kept having that conversation about empathy for hours. It felt like, and it kept presenting itself and presenting opportunities to exercise that.
Yeah, similar to like in a relationship where like, or just like any type of relationship, it doesn't even have to be like a significant other or anything like that, but like any type of relationship with another person, it's a matter of like, if somebody says something to you, the first thing that comes to mind is, all right, I'm waiting this out until they stop speaking,
so I can
and then I'm going to give you an example that pertains to my life from what you just said, right? So, and that's usually like how like usual conversations and communication would go between two people or multiple people. When in truth, a lot of it comes down to listening, actually hearing what a person says, and then responding in a way that is beneficial to the other person is like another step in communication. So that's just like a observation when it comes to like just people having conversations. Period. It's not always like a example on whoever's side, or to have a response about something, whatever that pertains to yourself, but more so something that is beneficial to the other person is another form of breaking ground.
What is our? I'll generalize it, then I'll reel it back in.
Yeah.
To personalize it, but what is our? Why is that a thing? And has communication always been like that too? Instead of like actively listen with the intent of inserting yourself in said experience. Like what does that stem from? You have any idea?
I think to our core, we are all selfish individuals, like selfish beings. First and foremost, we put ourselves first. That's like where we truly feel. That's where we truly feel that we have something to offer, is if we are able to acknowledge a portion of our experience, push that onto someone else in order to prop ourselves up. When in essence, a lot of times what people really need is, for one, someone to hear them out, and then for two is for you to actively engage and acknowledge what was said. I think with those two parts of that conversation, I think that goes a long way in not only yourself learning a lot, being the listener, but also the person that's speaking feeling validated in what they're saying. Not all conversations are a need to just listen to, but I think for the most part, when people speak, they are trying to convey something, and it's just a level of validation that's needed in what's being conveyed. I think in my own experience with communication and stuff like that, a lot of times that is like a rough space to be in. Trying to just listen to individuals because they think as if you are, when you actively engaged in listening, something about that is like you're trying to manipulate something or do something in a way. I don't know why people aren't too used to somebody listening to them, actually listening to them and then validating them.
Yo.
But when you do that, they don't know what to do, because it's like it literally, all of our conversations has to do with you just telling your side of the story.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. No, it's funny you say that, because that, again, a reoccurring theme. So when you, I don't know if it works like this for everybody else, but I know for me, if certain shit keeps presenting itself from sources that don't have shit to do with each other, there is absolutely no way for you to go, everybody's bugging. It's just no, you can't. I know you. Let me say you can. Let me not say that you can't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't get like relatively similar information from different sources and go, oh, niggas is bugging. There's a lesson in that, because it's bad. There is. It's. I wholeheartedly believe in balance, my nigga. Like, it's not, and shit just ain't black and white.
Very important.
And it's part of the finesse, like, too. And life's just one big finesse. I stand by that shit. And in
one giant gray area.
And in the spirit of fucking figuring out how to finesse this motherfucker, let's really learn. And so, while there isn't an absolute rebuttal, there's a conversation of just transparency and letting the people into your world. Quarantine happens, and this is what I was getting to with the guys, because even a freak because of the business relationship is aware, but even it just didn't feel like something to talk about on the show at the time. The company took a significant hit with quarantine, bro. Like, tour both internationally and domestically were planned. Thanks to insurance, was able to recoup some of that bread, but still not a high enough percentage. And so, and then on top of that, the amount of contracts that were like, yeah, we can't fulfill that due to COVID-19. All right, bet. And it's the whole don't count your eggs before they hatch, but cool. Now we got to pivot and figure it out. I only know one way to do that. Legitimately, let's say. I only know one way, and that's just to go dive headfirst into the art. And so, and don't get me wrong, this week has been fulfilling, but it also has been super reflective. It's like people tapping in, going, "Yo, you know what's gotten into you, nigga, but you killing it." Album after album, just been amazing. It's like, well, that shit costs some. Even if it doesn't cost money, it costs time, and doesn't allow for the pull up like it should. And in my mind, in my mind, it's like, oh, niggas know where I'm at. Like I'm good. Like it's no harm, no foul. But it's still the tap in, you know. And I think that was sort of the lesson. You know, it's like everybody's got something, but the effort both ways. And you want so bad. At least I want so bad to go. Well, damn. Like it's not personal. It shouldn't be received that way. But that shit don't matter right now. You know, not at this point.
Yeah, I can fancy it very similar to like me being off the radar too. I think that's just something that we do though. Like when there's something that we need to figure out, we dive into figuring that shit out. It's a strand of our family, I would say. I guess I would say the men in our family.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about what on the women's side in our family, but
I feel like they're the same way.
they're the same way.
I feel like Tay get low when she get low. She lock in.
Sure.
I feel like
For
Bean
sure.
get low. I live with my sister, and I know how low she get when she needs to go figure something out.
Yeah.
And I don't, for whatever reason, I just don't equate it to. I don't take it personal, and I don't equate it to a weakness either. It's almost like a superpower to me. Like I've never seen y'all complain about shit.
No.
So I go. That's why the whole tour thing felt weird to go. Oh my God, I'm losing my shit. Like I just needed to go figure it out. Like I just needed to step the fuck away and go make as much art as possible to drown out the noise and offset how much of a L niggas took. Like that makes sense to me, but to sit around and go, woe is me. My something about it just don't feel right. It don't feel right. And that's not to say that's what niggas are doing, but to harp over what isn't or what won't be just feels like such a counterproductive step when it's like, all right, bro, there's progression. And I don't subscribe to the idea that that's unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I for the life of me, I don't. It's like I just want to keep going. This is what it was. All right, cool. Let's work. Let's just keep working through it, and that's the approach. And so the part of you that wants to defend the being out of touch part is like, damn, but it's like all in the spirit of getting better, not in the spirit of like not fucking with niggas. It's like no, like it's the last thing. But I feel like that's where the context is so helpful. And that's all. And so I that struck a nerve because I literally know OGs who were best fucking friends, and because of a lack of context, don't speak anymore. I haven't spoken in 30 years. That's how thin that line is. It's like I love you, I hate you. I don't. All right, I love you, but I don't fuck with you. And you're like, wait, but why? Nigga, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Or if you do remember, it's just your part of the story without the context from the other person. And so you didn't build up this whole thing in your head. And that's in all relationships. So talk to your people, man.
Yeah, I think talk to your people, and I think also people from the people side allow for the space for someone to, if there was a point in time where y'all fucked with each other, then you can't take that in vain, and allow for the space for them to, kind of find their groove back in as well. You know what I mean? Like I think you kind of have to create a space where you can feel a person out again, and then see if that's something that makes sense still. I think what we do is that we just shut it down and shut it off if they're not with you daily. And that's the more we get into this thing, it's a grind. So somebody ain't gonna be around you daily. You know what I mean? So we gotta allow for the space in between for somebody to if you fucked with them before, see if you still fuck with them. You know what I mean? And see if that's still a thing. You could pick up on that without having them be in your space, like in your bubble. You know what I mean? Like there's still ways to get to the bottom of that, but you have to be open to it, and you'll be amazed just being open, how much you learn and how much you come across. What lessons are learned. But once you close your shit off, then fuck you. You know what you know.